What's good, YouTube? Nappy92 here, back again, once again, and today, people, it's Thursday, so you know that means we have another Pokemon Top 5 all lined up and ready to go for you guys. Now, last week we had the choice between either Normal type or Poison type for this week's Top 5, and I guess you guys want to see Normal type have a longer losing streak than Electric did because you all voted for Poison type. Now, last week's vote was a lot closer than the previous week when we had Steel versus Normal. Steel completely demolished Normal type, but this week's vote only had a margin of about 20 votes or so it was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. But either way, this week's top 5, as well as any top 5 that I do, is 100% opinionated, meaning that if you don't agree with it, then by all means leave your own top 5 poison types in the comment section below. Now, I choose not to use any legends in my top 5s, but that doesn't mean that you can't use any legends in yours. So like I said, by all means, leave your own top 5 in the comment section below. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the top 5 poison type for this week. Starting off the countdown this week, in the 5th slot, we have the one and the only Muck. I feel like this is going to be an upset for a lot of people. When I did my top 5 worst Pokemon video, a lot of people were really upset that I included Garbodor, but I didn't include Muck. Like, I get comments all the time of people saying, what the fuck, Muck is just a giant pile of whatever the fuck, 'cause, you know, people change what they call him all the time. To me, and I feel like to me and for a lot of the entries on this week's countdown, I'm going to have to use the reasoning of he's OG, he's first generation, you can't get mad at the classics. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, he's just a pile of sludge, but he's our pile of sludge. You know, it's one of those things. You know, Muck is just first generation, he's just, I mean, look at the dude. Tell me Muck is not badass. Look at Muck and then look at Garbodor and tell me who's cooler. Yeah, that's what I thought. At the end of the day, Muck is cool. Motherfucker's purple. A lot of poison types are purple, so I don't know if it's a sick ass countdown. But either way, he's number 5 on this week's top 5. Bringing home the number 4 slot in this week's top 5, we have the one, the only, the forgotten Toxicroak. I feel like a lot of people have really forgotten about Toxicroak. Not just Toxicroak, but 4th gen, period. I think that for whatever reason or another, a lot of people didn't really care for 4th gen that much, so I think that a lot of people really didn't give 4th gen and the Pokemon that came with it the credit that it deserved. I know 4th gen is the terrible game that brought us Magmortar, but you know what? It brought us a lot of other great Pokemon as well, like Toxicroak. You know, the poison fighting type dude. This is a nice Pokemon. It's a nice Pokemon, and the dude looks sick as fuck too. I mean, in my opinion, Toxicroak, I kind of like Toxicroak for the same reason I like Gengar. Like, he looks like he's up to no good. He looks like, you know, he could be like your little sidekick running around fucking with people. That's Toxicroak in my opinion. At the same time, you could just say he looks retarded because he's got this stupid ass glance on his face. But either way, you know, tomato tomato. Either way, he's number 4 on this week's top 5. In the number 3 slot this week, we have again an OG poison type. This one you guys should have seen coming on this countdown. We have Team Rocket's own Weezing. Now, Weezing originally, when I first saw him, I did not like him at all. I completely hated him. I looked at him and I thought, how the fuck, why the fuck would anybody want this retarded looking floating nutsack on your team? I don't get it. But since then, I have used them a couple times. If you guys saw my Team Rocket Edition live stream, then you know I chose Coughing as my starter and evolved into Weezing. And Weezing actually clutched the entire game at the end. But still, I wasn't entirely blown away by Weezing's performance on there. But I guess, you know, it's just a combination of seeing him in Let's Plays and, you know, on the anime, on Team Rocket's team. And you know I'm a huge fan of Team Rocket. Either way, you know, just it's that OG mentality. Weezing is original. I mean, you can't beat the dude. That's why he's number 3 on this week's top 5. As we enter the home stretch, coming into the number 2 slot this week, we have the one and the only Nidoking. Now, a lot of people might be upset that I included Nidoking and not Nidoqueen. To me, it's basically the same damn Pokemon. It's tomato, tomato, it's male, female, whatever. I know they have a few stat differences, but at the end of the day, I went ahead and went with Nidoking just for GP. A lot of people have been asking me about Nidoking in previous videos because of its typing. Is Nidoking going to be considered poison or is it going to be considered ground? To me, if a Pokemon is badass enough, they will appear on both top 5s. The only Pokemon that's done that so far is Metagross. Metagross appeared on Psychic and Steel. So, I don't think Nidoking is badass enough for that. But we'll see. You never know. You never know. But either way, Nidoking, again, first gen, OG. The dude looks like a monster. And ultimately, once you get him and you level him up, he is a fucking monster. So, That's why he's number 2 on this week's top 5. And finally, in the number 1 slot this week, might be a surprise to a few of you guys, especially for me. We have the one and the only Drapion. Again, a forgotten 4th gen Pokemon. To me, Drapion is fucking badass. That is it. That is simple as it gets. This gigantic scorpion motherfucker. This dude is amazing. If I ever do another 4th gen Let's Play, because I'm getting ready to start the egg lock and I can't really control what I get, but if I ever do a 4th gen Let's Play, I'm definitely picking up a fucking Drapion. Now, a lot of people might be surprised because Gengar is not number 1 on my top 5 poison. To me, Gengar is not really a poison type, but the reason I chose not to include him is because if I did, he would automatically be number 1. Like, come on. That's the same reason I didn't include Empoleon last week in the top 5 steel type, because if I did, he would just automatically be number 1, and to me that's not entirely too fair. So either way, number 1 for this week is Drapion. There you have it, people. That wraps up this week's top 5 poison type. By all means, leave your own top 5 poison type down in the comment section below and smash that like button for me if you did as well. Now, for next week's type that we have the choice to vote for, you guys should already know what the first one's gonna be. We have a choice between either normal type or dark type. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for dark type, so I don't know which one's gonna win. But either way, as I said last week, our choices are normal and dark. Not fighting, not dragon, so please don't leave fighting or dragon or any other type that's not normal or dark to vote for it down in the comment section, because we'll get to those eventually, but this week we're focusing on normal and dark. But either way, like I said, smash that like button for me if you enjoyed, and as always, people, thank you for checking out the video. You know me, YouTube, Nappy 92. I'm out.